Rather lads, welcome back to Kosse's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosse. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2. It's been a very, very tight context. Contest. It's one match where I think Arsenal put in everything, and in the end, we got nothing. And guess what, lads? We have one. We have one thing to blame, and that is ourselves. There is no other thing. We only have ourselves to blame. We got the chances. We matched Liverpool in the first half. We were the better team in the first half. We did everything well in the first half, and we didn't take our chances. Liverpool were the team, were the better, were the better team in the second half. We really can't lie about that. And I think it's a lesson learned. Another huge lesson learned by Arsenal. When you're playing these big teams, when you're playing a huge team, take your chances. You've got to be brave. I think we were brave. I think we fought for every ball. I think Gabriel Martinelli was class. It was a total masterclass from Gabriel Martinelli. But one thing we didn't do was capitalize on the spells where we were the better side. That is the point of this match, and that's why we've lost it, and that's why we've not scored against Liverpool. In four games this season, we have only managed to draw against Liverpool, and we have not scored a goal against them. And it comes down to the fact that we have not used our chances in our games, and we have not been as clinical as we could have been. But there are a few things I really want to talk about in this game, lads. The first thing is Gabriel Martinelli. How fast is this player developing? How fast is he developing as a player? Personally, on Arsenal's side, I'm going to say he has been a man of the match. He's been a difference. He's been so different. I think on that pitch, there's no player that I can say has been outstanding in this game throughout the 90 minutes as Gabriel Martinelli. Very, very superb in the first half. I still have problems with his decision making as a player. I think he can do better, especially in times of quick decision making, what to do in the final third, especially on the break. I think he's lacking there. But overall, he has been outstanding. There are not so many players that you will meet and they will destroy Trent Alexander-Arnold. And the reason there is Liverpool are used to having the ball, but also that Liverpool defense, that back four is very, very good. It's very difficult to isolate one of them. I think Martinelli has done it very well today. He's been isolating Gabriel. He's been isolating Trent Alexander-Arnold all the time, and he's been beating him. I think in the second half, you know why we didn't win this game. You know why we didn't get anything in this in this game. Martin Odegaard misses. I think he should score that, but we'll get to that. But you remember at the beginning of the first half, Martinelli beats Diaz. He beats Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think he also beats Matip as well. And then he cuts that ball back. It's a dangerous ball, and the reason as to why we do not score from that, is because of Alexander Lacazette. His Lacazette's positioning as a hold-up player is fantastic, but Lacazette's positioning as a 9 is absolute bogus. I think. I can't wait for that time when we have a proper number 9, a player that literally picks up those chances in and around the penalty area. This area, here. I think we need a player here. We need a player in here. You just need. I mean, Vlahovic. If we could, if we could have gotten Vlahovic in January. The kind of play I'm talking about, and of course, don't allude to the fact that they've been hit 3-0 by Villarreal today. But we lack a number 9. Our chances, many of our chances, go begging. The striker we have has only scored 3 times this season, and he has assisted 7 times, and that is Alexander Lacazette. It speaks volumes about his game. He's not that kind of player that wants to be in and around the box. His role is very vital, on how we play as a team, but effectively when it comes to scoring crucial and very vital goals. He's not going to do that, and we need a very, very prolific striker, because as Arsenal, we don't have wingers that can give you 19 goals, that can give you double figures in terms of scoring goals. So you definitely need a striker that is concerned with getting you the double figures. And it was the difference for me, lads. It was the difference. Look, there's so many other things that Liverpool did in this game, better than us. Subsequently, as we grew into the game, they became more confident. They took control of the game, and we became a little bit frightened. I think in the first half, what we did well was we fought for every ball, and we matched the quality of Liverpool. Everything they did, we did times two. In the second half, it started as Arsenal dictating what is going to happen in this half, what is going to happen, in the rest of the 45 minutes of the game. But we got tired and we lost it. I mean, all teams get tired, all teams lose it. So I'm not really going to come out and point to any player in particular. I think the whole team played well, and the whole team lost the game. Partey and Odegaard in that midfield, I don't think they were awful. Cedric and Saka, defensive wise, I also don't think they were awful, despite the fact that both goals come from from that wing. Look, I think for the first goal, really, lads, you've got to blame the weakness of the players, because we switch off. Literally, Thiago has the ball for around 3, 4, 5 seconds. He's scanning, and as Thiago is looking on and scanning, Partey, Odegaard, and Xhaka are nowhere to be seen, because Thiago should be closed down. I mean, we know how dangerous, and I think we've forgotten how dangerous Thiago is. Many Premier League clubs, I've seen many Premier League clubs play against Thiago, and they never close him down. I mean, I've seen so many Premier League clubs play against him, and they never close him down. And I'm surprised, but we consider the first goal because of Thiago's brilliance. He gets the ball, and then we allow him time to scan through. We allow him time to think. We allow him time to pick up a player and pick a pass. You don't do that with Thiago, right? You literally don't do that. You can't do that with Thiago Alcantara. And when he does that, because if you look at that goal, I really can't play it on my screen, but if you look at that goal, Jota is, by the time that run is, that Thiago makes the pass, Jota is actually not, is actually not in the, in the box. Jota is out of the box, and he runs around 2, 3, 4, 5 yards into the box. No one is closing him down because he runs through Partey, Saka, Odegaard, and Cedric. Together with Ben White. There's around 5 players, and no player decides to take up the responsibility to close Jota down and force him into the wider areas. I think what is frightening even is that Jota scored against us ever since he joined Liverpool 4 times. He has scored against us 4 times, but we didn't give him that kind of special treatment. And I agree, generally, before Liverpool scored the goal, they didn't look like a huge threat. But that is what big teams do. That is what successful teams do. That is what teams in the caliber of Liverpool do. They're not always going to pump you and hit you hard, but they will create magic moments. They will create quality moments, and it is those quality moments that actually beat us. Anyway, they are far better than us. Honestly, they're far better than us in terms of quality, in terms of consistency. It's been 6 years in terms of the manager they have, and the quality of the player they have. But so the first goal, lads, I think it is avoidable, really, really avoidable. The second goal is a very, very, it's a very, very interesting situation with Jurgen Klopp. What he does, He takes off Jota after Jota has scored, and it is already pre-planned that Jota is gonna come off, and Jota scores. You think he's gonna change his mind? You think he might actually change his mind? You think he might decide maybe let me keep Jota on because he's used to scoring Arsenal. But what he does, he takes him off. He sticks to the game plan. He takes him off, and he brings on Roberto Firmino, who I think really made a big difference in this game. Because I think Roberto Firmino as a false nine, he does it better than Jota. Jota was so quiet today until he got the goal. I think what is what is scary about Jota, he will score at any point in time. He will get the goal. What is scary about Firmino, if he doesn't score, he will influence. He'll have a huge hand in the goal that you concede. And I think that is that's the difference between the two players. But apart from that, Liverpool didn't look like they destroyed us. They didn't destroy us. I'm really happy with Mikel Arteta because he played the Arsenal way. He played our system. He didn't change the lineup. He didn't tamper with it, and we subsequently didn't tamper with the quality of the football. Honestly, lads, if you're an honest Arsenal fan, you enjoyed this. Honestly, I personally enjoyed it. But if you're an honest Arsenal fan, you enjoy this. Unless you're a crook, unless you are a Tottenham fan, I think it was enjoyable, right? It was enjoyable. Those midfield battles, right? That contest between Martinelli and TRENT. Saka was a little bit quiet. I think Robertson got the better of him, but it was enjoyable. There was fight. There was character, and I'm not disappointed. When we look at the 6 things we learned from this game tomorrow, I'll definitely try to tell you that it was a context where a contest, so not context but contest, where Arsenal really put in everything and got out nothing. That is what it was. We put in everything and we got nothing. But there are a few lessons that I want to point out in this video on that game. And number one, we need desperately we need to improve and elevate the quality of the squad. Now, if you've seen this Liverpool side, it's a side that has been built for some time now by Jurgen Klopp. He's built it, I think, we could say he's built it for 5 years, 6 years. So it's very difficult to match it. It's definitely not easy for Arsenal to come out and just match the quality of Liverpool. But if we are going to challenge these big sides, if we are going to challenge these top sides, we need the quality. Yes, it's not going to come overnight. And Mikel spoke about it and he said, look, Liverpool are a team that control every aspect of the game. And we have seen it again today. They literally controlled every aspect of the game. Defensive-wise, they were organized. In the midfield, they won all they won, the batters they could. And offensive-wise, going forward, they were also lethal and also finished off the chances. And I said that was the difference. They finished off their chances. We failed to finish off our chances. If we finish off our chances, if we score in that game, it's different, right? So that was the difference. Quality. It was the difference. Quality. Yes, there's so many things that like consistency and commitment to values that Liverpool had better than we did. But our approach to the game was quite similar. When you look at the patterns of passing, when you look at the style of pressing, they were so similar. The two teams were so similar. And because Liverpool have done it for a longer time, because Liverpool have done it longer than we have, they beat us. They beat us to it. And I agree, we were beaten. But one thing is that we need players that somehow elevate the quality of this team. Players not from the academy, but players from the market. Look, I think Xhaka played well. I think Partey played as well. But Xhaka's influence in that game is not as visible as, I think a player like Nico Barella. If you have a player like Nico Barella there, I think it's different. So I think there are those, areas where we just need to, upgrade, just put quality. At right back, I think Cedric Suarez was okay, but then we could have done better if we had a player like Tariq Lamptey, especially in terms of pushing Robertson, because Martinelli was really doing it. Martinelli and Tierney were already doing it very well against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Where Xhaka is central midfield, I think we can also get someone better to help us keep the ball better, to help us in ball distribution. But I don't think Xhaka was awful. Discipline-wise, he was okay. The football, I don't think he can actually offer more than that, really. And also up front, Lacazette is not the future, despite the fact he's been okay for the last couple of games and months. Arsenal needs someone better to hand the goals. I think if we have a player like Victor Osimhen, if you have a player like Lautaro Martinez, it will ask us more. It will compel us more to create more chances. But also, I think they are better finishers. So we need a better finisher. So I think I saw that in that game. The difference between Arsenal and Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City is quality, right? It's quality. And believe me, you lads, over the weekend, when we take on Aston Villa, you will actually see my points, because Villa will almost be at the same level as Arsenal. So you will not have these, huge differences in quality. I think what we'll see against Villa and Arsenal is two young managers trying to implement what they know, and maybe a well-rested Villa and a tired Arsenal that has had to match Liverpool toe-to-toe from minute 1 to minute 90. But then the other thing I saw, lads, positive, we are moving in the right direction. We are absolutely moving in the right direction. Let me tell you, lads, how many times have we seen this Arsenal side like put up a fight against Liverpool, and Liverpool are like, we need to do something. You've seen, Jurgen Klopp trying to switch, his team, trying to find a pattern that works. So we are no longer that Brighton. We are no longer that Brentford. We are no longer that Watford. We've left that level. We are moving in the right direction into becoming and going back to where we are supposed to be. We are supposed to be a big part of the top four. We are supposed to be a big team that really can win every game against an opponent. And we are there, lads. We are there. Martinelli, you saw the context. I mean, this is a big team. Alexander Lacazette, we were comfortable. We didn't play with any kind of discomfort. We were comfortable. We played, every game, every ball, every pass with real purpose. We knew what we were doing. It looks like we didn't care if it was Liverpool or not. We didn't care. What really mattered was it was another match day. So I think if we can keep this up, lads, and keep on improving, you never know. Probably this is our time. As Chelsea decline, as Manchester United struggle to find the right way, to back to the top, Arsenal, Liverpool, and City, we are 3. So if we increase our quality, then we are title contenders, in the next 2 years. Surprisingly, yeah, because we have found a pattern of winning games. And then point 3, lads, is how do we bounce back? I think that's very important. I always say it. If you watch my match reactions, I always say it when Arsenal lose a game. The question is, it's not about this result, lads. It's not about this result, right? It's not about this result. It's about how do you overcome this result, right? What do we learn from this result? And I think I'm very positive. Look, when you lose a game, especially after going 5 in a row or 6 in a row without losing, there is that kind of demoralization that you get, that kind of loss of morale and things like that. But subsequently, you're looking at two things. One, you're looking at the energy that you have drawn from the past 5 wins. It's not going to evaporate through the window. It's not going to go away just like that. And I think that is what Arsenal is going to use. And that is what we should use. We should draw some energy off the wins. They've been 5. They've been fantastic performances. And I mean, losing against Liverpool, a quality Liverpool side, it shouldn't actually mean we aren't good enough, right? So how do we bounce back? And when do we bounce back? If you bounce back by drawing against Aston Villa and then losing your position to Manchester United or Spurs, because if you look at the table right now, Spurs are actually closing in. I think now 48 points, United 50, and Arsenal have stayed at 51. So it's a tight context. But if you look at how teams like Spurs have survived, despite their inconsistencies, is the ability to bounce back. They've been beaten by Manchester United over the weekend 3-2, but they've beaten Brighton in midweek 2-0. And it's the same story with Manchester United. Inconsistent. They beat Spurs, right? And now over the weekend, I think they'll play Liverpool. So if they lose, I'm not sure. Would they play Liverpool? United. I mean, I need to get this right. But look, they have a couple of very, very big games coming up. I just need to find out. United, who do they play next? Let me know in the comments below if you know there. I hate giving fake news on this channel. It's a big brand, right? So United, who do you play next? All right. Let me use my phone. United matches. Big up to everybody who's tuned in. I massively appreciate it. Massively appreciate it, lads. I'm humbled that you lads tune into this channel always. Damn, I can't find Manchester United's next fixtures. Arsenal's fixtures. We take on Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Southampton. We really have winnable fixtures coming up. I'm looking at Manchester United. All right. Right. Look, I can't find it. I'm surprised I can't find it. Who do Manchester United play next? Let me know in the comments below. I thought it was Liverpool. So look, lads, I think honestly, right? It's loading here. I think the way we bounce back will be key and will be vital. I think we should bounce back with a win. Honestly, we should bounce back with a win. Yeah. Right. So I'm looking at this. It's the 2nd of April. 2nd of April. Looks like it shows here that United will play Leicester on the 2nd of April. Are there games in March over? It can't be. Well, it shows that United will be playing Leicester next, which is actually not a problem. It's not a problem. May well, their fixtures are really not organized. I can't get it. But look, listen, lads, I think to wrap up this game, to summarize and put everything together, we played well and we lost. So in the upcoming fixtures, that is Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Southampton, we need to get maximum points. I think in our next 5, we have Crystal Palace. We have Crystal Palace, not an easy one. We have Aston Villa, not an easy one. Southampton, not an easy one. And then I think we'll play Chelsea. But what makes you different and what makes you worthy of going back to the Champions League is the question whether you can win these games, whether you can pick up points from uncomfortable games, right? The Crystal Palaces, the Aston Villas, because we've been leading this top 4 race with games in hand, but I won't be surprised if we drop out of the top 4 race, especially because you could go to Villa and then fail to win, and then you fail to win against Crystal Palace, and Spurs and United are above your head. And that is a real problem that we actually do not want. Thanks everybody for watching in. I need to get some of your comments. It's been a long time before streaming, and the poor thing is that when I streamed late, but regardless. Jude says hi dude, hope you're doing well. There in this match, Saka and Lacazette are just a shadow of themselves. It comes from the quality of Liverpool. It comes from Liverpool's quality, and that's why I say you really can't go on and say player ABC was dreadful, because it's Liverpool's quality. It comes from the fact that Liverpool are a better quality side than Arsenal. Derek says you need players. You need players, guys. It's true. It's true. Arsenal need that extra quality. Like, if you look at the moments that were created in this game, there are moments that you think came out of quality. Roberto Firmino's quality, Robertson is quality, and Thiago is quality, and Jota is quality. So you just need that extra layer of quality in your team. Every team does, including United, including Spurs, and come the summer. Arsenal players played very well. Only some minor errors, which cost for them. It's true, absolutely. That is the point, lads. That's the point. We played well, but somehow Liverpool has a better side. This is lads. If you watched yesterday's game against United against Atletico Madrid, it's what happened. Liverpool stuck to the game plan, just like Atletico yesterday, and these teams are able to stick to their game plan because they've done it over the years. They've done this over the years, so they are able to stick to the game plan. They're able to do. They have a group of loyal, committed players that are willing and have mastered what the manager wants them to do, and they're willing to do it against all odds at all costs. And Arsenal players are just learning, right? But it's all part of the process. It happened on New Year's Day. We played Manchester City. We played well, and we felt we were cheated. But it's that extra quality. The character comes later. The consistency comes later. Knowing each other, the patterns of passing, all that comes in later. But the strong point, the strong point is, at the end of the day, right? How much quality do you have in your side? So I think, with time that will actually get ironed out. Man United versus Leicester, second on Apple. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it's the 17th of March. I mean, United do not have a game until 2 weeks. Like, they don't have a game until 2 weeks. It's do we have? I think we have an international break. I've seen a couple of players being called for international duty, so I think we have the international break, right? But Arsenal, we play over the weekend. Yeah, we play over the weekend, and lads, that's a huge advantage there, right? Right? That's a huge advantage. You know why? Because when we play Aston Villa over the weekend, that is on 19th. That is tomorrow, but one. Dang. Yeah, that's tomorrow on Saturday, right? When we play Aston Villa on Saturday, it will be away from home, early kickoff, which is scary. But if we can win this, that means we will have created a 4-point gap between us and Manchester United, who sit 5th. But then you remember, we'll still have a game in hand. So when United come back and play on the 2nd of April, we will play on the 4th of April, again away from home against Crystal Palace. So that means actually the Villa game is more important. We lose against Villa, we are screwed, right? So I think the Villa game, look, the Liverpool game has been important as well. I wanted a point from this game, and the reason that's why I wanted a point is, you could just add that point, right? But like I said during the preview, Liverpool thought and knew how important this game was, and they played like it was important. So we play Aston Villa over the weekend. Do me a favor, lads. Win this one, lads. Just win this one. We need it desperately. So if we can win it, then this loss means nothing for me. It really means nothing. Honestly, we expected these results. The only disappointing thing, we failed to score. But what I noticed majorly, that is according to Rogers, is that there is a progression with our team. Arsenal, because I remember possessing the ball by 82%. Exactly. And that's why I said that at some point in time, or in many instances, in many points in that game, we matched Liverpool. We matched the quality of Liverpool. We matched what Liverpool were doing. Please, Mikel Edu, get Joao Felix and Renato Sanchez somehow. Plus, Tomiyasu would have been so good. Cedric made one crucial mistake in this game. It's it's a it's a point of backups and quality. Again, it goes back to paper. It goes back to quality. Look, teams like Liverpool, they take off Jota and bring on Firmino, and Firmino scores. They take off Luis Diaz and bring on Salah. Salah is better. If they take off Mane, they can bring on maybe Takumi Minamino. So Arsenal are not yet at that level. Arsenal would be there maybe in 3 years. It will depend on how we do and how we perform in the summer and then in the subsequent transfer windows. Moza Boy, long time. In what area we match the Liverpool quality Corsi? In what area do we match the Liverpool quality Corsi? In what area do we match the Liverpool quality? I think, honestly, to be true to ourselves, we shouldn't compare ourselves to Liverpool. Because if you ask me, in what area do we match Liverpool? Nowhere. Because for me, I would say defensive wise, because at the moment, literally, honestly, defensive wise, we are one of the best teams, defensive wise. But Trent, Robertson, and Van Dijk, you can't compare that to Liverpool. You can't compare that to Arsenal. You can't. In the midfield, Jadon Henderson, Thiago, they didn't have Keita in there. I still feel midfield, in the midfield, they are still better, especially the fact that they're able to, progress the ball very, very well and pick up those very, very key, very crucial key passes all the time. So I think we can match Liverpool's midfield next season if we get the right players. We can match the back line in 2-3 years when our players get that experience that Liverpool has. At the moment, we do not have it. We definitely do not have it. Joao Felix to Arsenal, 10 years ago, maybe. I think Arsenal is in position now to attract any player. What we need and what we want is we need to be serious and to be decisive about what we want to do in the summer. That is what is important. What do we want to do in the summer? And how quickly and how serious do we do it? I think Arsenal can't go for Joao Felix. It's going to be expensive. But again, for me, he's the quality of player we need. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And I wouldn't really agree with anyone who says, oh, Joao Felix to Arsenal is impossible. It's not impossible. It's really, really possible, lads. It's really possible. The only player I saw in the pitch is Martinelli. I think you're wrong. I think Mose. Okay, you're not wrong because that's your opinion and that's how you saw the game. But it's unfair to say that the only player you saw on that pitch was Martinelli. Martinelli was outstanding. I do not disagree with that. But you've got to ask yourself, why didn't we concede 5? Because we know the quality of Liverpool. But why didn't we concede 5? Why didn't we concede 6? Why didn't we concede 3? Right? The patterns in defending, the patience, the midfield cover of Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka, it was there. I saw hard work in the team, right? And that's why I said, in terms of blame, no individual player gets it from me today. No individual player gets it. All players really work together as a team, And I saw many players. I thought Xhaka was okay. I thought Tierney was okay because Tierney supported Martinelli, right? Tierney supported Martinelli. Yes, Martinelli was brilliant with it, with 1v1 situations and 1v2 actually, because if you looked at if you look at that game, there's a point where he was taking on Trent Alexander-Arnold and John Matip together, and he was beating them, right? But to beat the Liverpool midfield, Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago Alcantara, our midfielders really worked hard. The team really worked hard. They really, really worked hard. So if look, I can't really show you the average positions, but if we could, if I could show you the average positions, you could see that this Arsenal side, these players really performed at a high level. Really, really performed at a high level. So I think, look, let's give them the respect they deserve. Arsenal should worry about keeping hold of Saka and Martinelli. I don't think we should worry. I think we should be serious. If we have started playing like a big team, if we have started acting like a big team, what we need to do then is to show teams that we are big. And how do you do that? How do you show teams that you're big? It's by it should look, Liverpool, City. How easy is it for them to give their players new contracts? It's very easy. Who needs a new contract? Cancelo. The next day, Cancelo signed a new contract. We should stop this crap of going to social media and always scrolling Saka to get a new contract, Saka to get a new contract. We are past that level, right? Players that need to get contracts should get them. We don't need to worry because we're a big team. And if we are going to act like a big team, then we definitely don't need to worry about players and how they sign new contracts. Partey was very good for about 65 minutes today. It goes back to the quality of Liverpool. Listen, lads, a team like Liverpool, you can't defend Liverpool solo. You can't beat Liverpool solo. Partey is very good at those solo performances. He's very good at those individual brilliant performances. But to beat Liverpool, to beat Manchester City, it is one thing. One thing: hard work. And that hard work doesn't come from one team. That hard work comes from a group of players. We saw it in the first half. We were working hard. We were on top of our game. What happened in the second half? That is what we have to ask. Why does this Arsenal side decline in the second half against Liverpool? Remember when we played against them in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals? Jota killing us. But apart from the 2 Jota goals, we did well. Still, I think it was last season, halftime 0-0. Full time, was it 3? Was it 4? I think it was 4, right? So we need to ask ourselves, why in the second half? But when you tell me that Partey played for 65 minutes, it shows you that then he burst. Then he was outnumbered. He was he was overloaded by the quality of Liverpool. So we need the numbers. We need in any game. Let me give an example of that Leicester City game. Leicester were not poor, lads. Leicester were not poor. Honestly, they were not poor. But what Arsenal did is we created. We're playing that 4-2-3-1, and predominantly we play it as a 4-3-3. And in a 4-3-3, what I've learned today, lads, is in a 4-3-3 there are 2 things that you need to do. You need to create overloads, passing patterns that then result into overloads. We did that very well against Manchester City, and today it's been reverse psychology. Liverpool have done it very well against us. Their passing patterns have been good, and when you look at how they scored, look at the second goal, right? Because the first goal is a mistake, but look at the second goal. They have created overloads in our own half during that spell, and it has resulted into 2 goals. The other is what you'd call superiorities on the pitch, and superiorities come superiorities come into ways. One, you're looking at numbers, which I think Liverpool they created superiorities in numbers by powering their whole squad, their whole 11 in our own half. So literally, they created an overload with numbers. But then the other is the superiorities in quality, picking up those passes at a little bit of a sharper pace, but trying to confuse the opponent is the second goal. Look, it's Roberto Firmino, but that is how they created the second goal. Because if you look at it, the ball comes from the right, and then it goes over to the left. Yes, there is a mistake, from Saka, but then it shows you that is what Liverpool wanted. So literally in the second half, we played into Liverpool's game, but it is Arsenal are still learning how to create overloads, and we're still learning how to create these superiorities in terms of numbers and quality on the pitch. The moment we can master that, then we are good to go. It's what City do. It's what Liverpool do in that 4-3-3. Right. Any more of your comments? AR says, I think he also got that exactly because when you're playing Liverpool, you're always going to get overwhelmed. Right, you're always going to get overwhelmed. Liverpool, very, very dangerous for us now. Yeah, look, it's not an easy side for us. It's not an easy side for us, Liverpool, because if you think about it, Arsenal have not beaten Liverpool in is it 8 now? The last 3 times they've come at the Emirates, they have beaten us all 3, and we have not scored against them in 6 consecutive games. 4 of those games coming this season. We last played them and scored against them. That was at the Emirates Stadium, July 2020. So but it's not because Liverpool are supernaturally made to beat Arsenal. When you look at the period where Liverpool have beaten us the most, it's been a period of negative and positive transition. And that is the time when Liverpool had overcome their transition period, and they were on top. They've been on top of their game. They've beaten us during that time when Arsenal have been declining, and now we are on the rise, and we're still putting. We are still adding 2 and 2 to get 4. So literally, Liverpool are superior than us at the moment. I mean, it doesn't hard to accept that. It really doesn't hard to accept that. Jason says defensive errors, and he says a lot of defensive errors. We've got to acknowledge that they come from Liverpool's quality. Yeah, they've come from Liverpool's quality, because I've really not seen anything like, oh, this is so horrendous. No. And it's not been that. It's not been there. But remember, there was a time when Arsenal used to make these really, really horrendous errors. Like, we used to make horrendous errors. And like, come on, Arsenal, can you do better than that? Right? Self-destruction. You remember me saying self-destruction FC. You still remember those words. And the reason that's why those words, they were there, the reason that's why I used to say that is because Arsenal was good at, giving away the ball just like that. I think it happened this season. The typical example is against Crystal Palace 2-2. 2 mistakes, 2 goals. But today, there was nothing horrendous. It was goals that can be avoided, but again, goals that any team, be it City, be it Liverpool, Liverpool themselves, they could concede, right? And for me, it's not embarrassing that we've considered those goals against Liverpool. It's not that embarrassing, lads. But I need more of your comments here, right? So, How I wish we had 5 of Martinelli's caliber. I think what you love about Martinelli is his, braveness. He's so brave, and then character. I think again it goes back to being brave. He's brave. He's brave. Like, he's so brave that it doesn't matter whether he's playing against a huge Liverpool side. It doesn't matter to him, right? And that's why maybe you're right. You're right. If Arsenal have more brave players, but some help would have been good, don't you think? I think taking Odegaard out didn't help Partey. I think I felt like Odegaard was sloppy today, because it's not the chance. Many of you will think, oh, because he's not happy with Odegaard because of the chance, but it's not the chance. I'm actually thinking and rethinking that Martin Odegaard today was not as comfortable, because when Emil Smith Rowe came onto the pitch, I felt like he created a difference. There was a difference in the game, but with Martin Odegaard today, he was not the usual self. He was not his usual self. Even when Arsenal had spells on the ball, because there was a time when Arsenal had the ball, Odegaard didn't feel like he was, that lethal 10 who was ready to split up Liverpool. I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. But anyway, good thinking. No, I am not bashing. That's why I'm saying Arsenal need better, support players. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, AR. Absolutely. I'm so sorry if I got you wrong. Easy, guys. We'll be back over the weekend. I think that is what is important. Can we actually now, bounce back and bounce back well? My man Moseboy says, Kosi, if the team work hard, we shouldn't be conceding 2 goals. We lost the game and Liverpool don't have to come out of second gear to beat us. I think one thing I would say again on this show, Liverpool are quality, and their quality overpowers Arsenal. We can't forget that. We can't throw that away. Their quality overpowers Arsenal. Look, when you say we didn't work hard, I disagree. Look, working hard doesn't mean that you don't concede. We worked hard against City. No one can disagree. No one can disagree with me on this channel that we didn't work hard against City in the second leg. But we conceded twice. We did concede twice. I think the difference there that City needed a miracle. Today, or the Liverpool didn't feel like, I think many Arsenal fans feel like Liverpool didn't come out of second gear. But did they start the game like that? They didn't. They certainly needed something special. And maybe they didn't get to the second gear, but they needed something special. They needed that Thiago pass. They needed Roberto Firmino and Salah to come on to get a second. Some credit. Some credit, lads. Some credit. Honestly, some credit is deserved. There. AR says no red cards in 2 games now. I think with the red cards, it's a defensive. It's a discipline issue. So the better we become more, the better we become more disciplined. It only helps us. It doesn't help the opposition. Arsenal are top 4, but won't win. Arsenal are top 4, but won't win. Maybe the battle. You're trying to say the battle. I think. Listen, I've done a video on 99 Sport. And I'm gonna say thanks everybody who watches me on 99. I've done a show on 99 Sport, and I think when I had just come back on the internet, I was trying to show you why Arsenal are favorites of winning the top 4. We are favorites because we are playing 1 game per week. We are favorites because we have a consistent team. We are favorites because we have a pattern of winning games. We are favorites because we are up there with games in hand. I don't think Arsenal will fail to win all our games in hand. Liverpool are different from Spurs. Liverpool are different from Chelsea. Because I feel Arsenal can get a point against Chelsea. Arsenal can get a point against Spurs. Those 2 points are what we need. 2 points like this. That is what we need. If we beat Spurs, the better. If we can beat Chelsea, the better. Right? But one thing I'm gonna say, lads, here is we shouldn't be worried about finishing or not finishing in the top 4. We should be worried. I mean, we should be concerned about how our team is evolving. I've been watching how the 4-2-1, the 4-2-3-1, and 4-3-3 work today on T4 Football, and I'm trying to study more of match analysis during my time off the channel. But what I've seen is for us not to implement what Mikel Arteta is teaching, it's gonna take time, right? It's gonna take time. Chris says a raffle means they won't win nothing. Newcastle will overtake them next season. That's a huge ask of Newcastle, right? If we were on 9-9, I would share my opinions with about Newcastle. But here we are basically on Costa's Arsenal podcast, and it is Arsenal only. But lads, and look, to say that Arsenal will win nothing, that is illogical. Yeah, that's illogical. It's like saying, look, you have a wife, you won't give birth. It's illogical. It's illogical. And why I think it's illogical and why I think Arsenal will win things, in the coming future. One, we have set up the foundation. Two, we have a history of winning. We are the record holders of the FA Cup. We have 3 Premier League titles and 13 league titles all together. We just need to win in Europe because we've never won anything in Europe. That is what Arsenal need. We don't need to be afraid that we won't win anything. We are not Spurs. We have a history of winning, and we'll continue winning. For Newcastle overtaking Arsenal, I mean, Arsenal fans on this channel, at times you really piss me off when people give us a go and you don't respond. This is the comment, and I need you guys to answer in the comments. Answer. Hit the like button, but answer this. Do you believe Spurs will overtake Arsenal next season? Even if they buy Osimhen, they buy Raul Jimenez, they buy whoever is there in the world, next season is their preparatory season. This is a run for survival. Next season, they will need to prepare. Maybe 2 or 3 more seasons. That is when we can think about Newcastle. It's not the money. They're not going to drop out of heaven. They'll need to find a good manager. They'll need to find good players. Look, you might think they have good players, but for me, in that team, they have around 2 players. They have Bruno Guimaraes and Kieran Trippier. The rest, you just need to get rid of them. They're trash, right? So you cannot compare Newcastle right now, lads, to Arsenal. Arsenal has laid a foundation. Newcastle haven't. But Arsenal fans on this channel, let me know, do you think we will win or nothing? Chris says, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Newcastle will dominate next season. You are living in the past. I'm telling you, this is illogical. If you're telling me, okay, add that illogically, Newcastle will dominate. A takeover doesn't necessarily mean that you'll boom. It takes time. Look at City and how much time it took them, right? And how much time it took them. You don't just wake up and pump money. There are rules and regulations on how you invest money. There are rules and regulations on how you spend that money. It will take time. It will take time. So for me, Newcastle will not dominate next season. Chelsea, it depends on how they will be affected by the takeover, right? It depends on how their takeover is going to be, is going to affect them. Because listen, Roman Abramovich has been incurring huge losses running Chelsea. If the new owners, if the new consortium, probably if they're bought by a consortium, is going to accept run Chelsea on a basis of we love the club, we will incur the losses, then Chelsea will dominate. But if they are people who want their money back, Chelsea are in deep trouble, right? So let's speak as people who follow at least the current affairs in the industry where we are. You back Chelsea to dominate, but you know the position. I mean, if you only know the position in which Chelsea are, then you know that if any Chelsea fan hears you say they will dominate, they'll be like, he's mocking us. Okay. Those saying Newcastle will overtake Arsenal are not true Arsenal fans, and they cannot analyze games. Newcastle cannot and will not overtake Arsenal. Listen, this is Adeniyi. I think the point about Newcastle and my point of argument there is they will blow, but it will take time for them to blow. They can blow faster than Arsenal. They can overtake Arsenal because they have the money. They're 10 times richer than us, right? But there are rules and regulations, the risk criteria, there are limitations on how you spend the oil money, right? There are limitations. And the level of attractiveness to attract huge names, huge talent has not yet arrived. So they need to work a lot. They need to do more. So anyone who says, "Oh, Newcastle will take off," will overtake Arsenal, it's true. It's true. They can, but it's not going to happen overnight. Arsenal will be a bomb. James Ajama says Arsenal will be a bomb. Will overtake Spurs next season. Newcastle is not yet ready. Exactly. That is my point. You well said. Well said. They're not yet ready. They are good. They have the money. They are not yet ready. Newcastle are the richest club in the world. This is Chris. Won't take more than a couple of seasons. I'm a Leeds fans, by the way. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. Look, I think Chris has put it very well. Newcastle are the richest club in the world. They won't take more than a couple of seasons. Couple of seasons, right? So it's not that they're blowing tomorrow. No, not next season. I'll be surprised if they blow next season, right? I'll be surprised. But they're the richest club in the world. They will invest, and subsequently they will get the results. Thank you so much, Chris. And I'm happy that a Leeds fan watches my. I get to have a Leeds fan on the channel. Thank you so much, Chris. Atheist says Martinelli destroying Trent, and meanwhile Liverpool banging Arsenal. Yeah, I mean that's it. That's it. Martinelli overpowered Trent. He overpowered him. And if Arsenal have a good striker to capitalize on those runs, could have been a different story. But it's well said, Atheist. And the Yemi says yes, it will not happen overnight. But remember, Arsenal will not be sleeping as well while Newcastle are progressing. Thanks everybody, lads. Make sure you hit the like button. For me, it really means a lot. And of course, check out new content tomorrow and on a daily basis. My name is Kosi, and I'll allow me to sign out. Tonight. Good night, Arsenal fans. We meet tomorrow.